Welcome, friends, to episode 56 of Xbox Friend Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the disaster that was Gears of War Reloaded Beta. Xbox shares the future of Xbox, ROG Xbox Ally rumored date and prices, and the game's coming to Game Pass for the next 2 weeks. I'm your host, Verdugo, and with me, Maestro. What up, son?
What's good, homie? How's everything? How you feeling?
Frustrated, man. Not just with the Gears of War beta, but with real life too. So I'm hoping,
Yeah.
since I do
Oh,
like doing this, I do have a good time still.
okay. At least something works out, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Something.
yeah. Because this, well, I don't want to say maybe it wouldn't happen today if things worked out differently this morning, but it would have been done later. But I did want to do it anyways. If you had the time, any at any hour of not the day, but you know what I mean. I'm
Yeah.
just glad I'm
Yeah.
here. How are you doing?
Yeah, you got to you're glad to be
The-
included.
you could
Yeah.
tell my
Yeah.
frustration still in the way I'm talking. So hopefully, as we
Oh
get
man.
into it, I'll just let it go and enjoy this. So how you doing?
Yeah. I'm okay. Can't complain. Well, looking forward to, chilling, hanging out here and talking about the new stuff. I did get on. Actually, I did get to play the beta,
You
so
did,
it's
okay. All
interesting.
right. All
Yeah,
right. Let's we'll get into it now.
yeah,
I'm still not ready to talk about the games game that I've been playing. I
okay.
rather I like this game is different. I want to still continue. There's not much I could say. I'm waiting to see if it changes the more I play. So maybe by next week I'll be able to go into it. But there's a lot to talk about anyways today. So I'd rather get into that. Um,
Wait, what game are you talking about? What game did you start?
no, I haven't. We haven't talked about it yet. I've been playing it
Oh, yeah, so you don't want.
on and
Okay,
off for like 2 weeks.
yeah. Oh,
uh,
wow. I mean,
yeah.
that should be enough time.
Well, I'm not. That's why I said on and off because I haven't been playing it too much. I play like 1 hour. I think last night I played about an hour, and before that it was almost a week, and I played also an hour, maybe a little more. So I haven't
Okay,
really
okay.
played much of it within the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Gotcha,
How
gotcha,
about you?
gotcha. Okay. Uh, yeah, I mean, so a couple of things happened. We'll talk about the beta, but I did try it. I went into also, I mean, I played this a while ago, but then I started playing it again and I got really hooked on it. Which is, you remember when we were playing Vampire Survivors? I was like, yo, try this game out,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And it's kind of like that. It's like a basic looking game. It's a card game. And then
With that with that kind of
once,
graphics, like that's
yeah,
pixelated stuff.
yeah,
Uh,
like
uh,
16-bit.
Balatro.
Yeah,
Uh,
dude. Once you
what is?
start
Hold on,
like
hold on, hold
getting
on.
into it,
I'm sorry. I hear some music. I don't know where it's coming from. I have to see. Go ahead
I
and
don't hear
keep
anything.
talking. No, it's a gnat somewhere here.
Oh,
It's gonna be
yeah.
funny for the listeners. Where is that at?
Uh, but yeah, dude, the game, it's one of those games that it's whenever you're like, oh, this is kind of okay. But then once you start to get the hang of it and the rhythm of the game, then it really hooks you, bro. And I've been hooked on that for like a week now.
I don't know if
And
I want
like
to get hooked
and
on that.
it's so easy to jump into it, it's not it's a basic card game and you can be like, oh, I'm just gonna do like a 10-minute run. Right? And
Mm.
it's not like it doesn't destroy your run once you're done with it. Like you can quit and then continue exactly where you left off, right? But it's very addictive because you have all these power-ups and you have all these things that you can add and take away uh
It's
and just a strategy
a
of
roguelike,
figuring
right?
that out.
Like a
Yeah.
roguelike.
So it's so good, man. It's such a good game because you get little power-ups and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this run. And then oh, I can't hear you.
No, I was telling my daughter to do something. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Uh, But yeah, it's a really addictive game, and it's very good because of the strategy that you have of like, okay, how do I get past this run, or how do I get to the end of this run, and just little upgrade some of the things you add to it. It makes it very,
Mm,
very good. Um, so it's kind of like what I was saying, Vampire Survivors, that it's one of those things that you know, you look at it and you're like, I don't know, this is for me. This looks kind of whack. But then once you go for a little bit, you're like, okay,
I
I
don't
get it. I
know,
get
man.
why so many people, dude. I get why it was nominated for Game of the Year.
Okay.
You know, which it was nominated for Game of the Year last year. So it's very good, very, very good. Highly recommended.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I don't want to
But
really
anyway,
get into it because everyone who plays it says the same thing. I'm addicted. I can't stop playing it. I play it every day. If I'm not playing it, I'm thinking about it. I don't want to get
yeah.
into that. Like, I understand.
But
I'm not. So I don't know. I don't know how to play poker. Well, the last time I played poker was on the 360 Texas Hold'em. I don't
mm,
know if you ever
yeah,
got that arcade game.
I
and
did.
and I
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
have on my phone. I had to have the cheat sheet that tells me what kind of hands are better than the others, right? So I had to be
yeah,
looking at
yeah.
what I had. I never learned to play uh, poker without the cheat sheet. So for me to do it
Okay, but
now, I'll
that's a
have to learn.
matter. That's fine, and that's I mean, there has a thing in there that like you click on it and it shows you like it shows you the levels of the different hands.
Oh, so
Right.
so I don't have
So
to have it on my
it,
phone,
exactly, it's already built into the game. You
bro.
can just
Why
be like,
why
okay,
are you
what?
trying to sell this game to me, man?
It's just this because it goes
Ah,
beyond the poker strategy. It has all these other things that you can do, right? All these like multipliers of scores and all these things that you can add on, uh, and it's a pretty simple game, but the strategy of it, it gets bigger and bigger
mm,
and bigger as you go, and it's very, very good.
oh man, I don't know.
But and that's the thing too, is that you can get into it. You can have one run and that's it. You don't have to. It's not like something that you have to continue to play over and over and over again.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It
You
could be.
know,
I could have it in bite
it's just
sized. One or maybe two
right.
games. How long are the games?
Well, it depends. I think each run, if you actually make it to the end of the run, right, it's like 8 levels. And so out of that one hand or that one like run, probably like 15 minutes.
Okay,
15, 20
so
minutes.
one whole run
Yeah,
to level 8 is 15 minutes. That's not bad.
yeah.
Oh man, am I
It's
really
not.
gonna get
Yeah,
into
yeah.
this? I don't know.
Just try it, dude. It's really good. In the beginning, you're like, okay, what does this mean? What does all this stuff mean? You know, but once you
For
get the
sure.
hang of it, it's a quick like it's good. It's good. Highly recommended. Anyway, but that was
Ah,
the one game that I've been playing consistently this week. I did get on. Actually, I went back to Halo Reach, and
whoa.
it's pretty good, man. I know it's still
Multiplayer
really,
or
really
single
good.
player?
No, the multiplayer.
Okay.
Because I haven't gone to it in a while, and they updated a playlist where it's like a Halo 3 mode,
Okay.
and so all there's not like, no clamper, there's no running. It just plays like Halo 3 with all the items that Halo 3 had, except the bubble shield because
That's
that's not
that's
in
the
the
best
game. But they
one.
have, yeah, but they have all the other power ups, right? Like the health thing, the health regenerator. And it plays and moves exactly, and they remade a bunch of maps to be like Halo
Mm.
3, so it's pretty cool. I was like, oh man, this, and they added the Hayabusa helmet. Remember that like Japanese, and then like you can
Oh
get it with
yeah, I heard
fire.
they added that. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, it's cool, man. It's nice going back. You're like, oh wow, this, it reminds me how good this game is when I went back, and it's like it's just, it feels very good when you play, and when just the gunplay, the gun mechanics feels very, very good still. So I went back to that. I did a few rounds of that, and that was really good. A couple hours there.
Any reason why
Um,
you went
and
to
then
Reach instead of Infinite?
no, Infinite, not Reach.
Oh, you said Reach. That's why I
Did
was
I
like,
say
oh,
Reach?
yeah, yeah.
Oh
Okay.
no, my bad. I meant to say Infinite.
I
Sorry.
was like, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, any reason
uh,
why you went to Reach instead of Infinite? Because
uh,
I'm pretty sure Infinite
sorry.
feels way, way better than Reach. Even though in Reach
Yeah.
you can't
No,
run
for
in Reach, right?
well, if you have to have the not everybody can run, but you have to have the ability, like equip the ability.
Oh,
Because
wow.
you have like the one guy that the armor locks, right? And then you have the one that boosts with a jetpack. So
Mm,
not everybody runs. You just have to select that one. But either
wow.
way, it's very good. That was really fun going back to that. And I almost sent you a message. I was like, "Yo, you want to get on Halo? Because
Why
it feels just like
almost?
what we used to play." Yeah, because I know you're not like into it anymore. So
No, but
I didn't want to, you
it,
know.
right. You're right in that I'm not really into Halo anymore. But it's if I play with friends, everything is fun with friends, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
You messed up.
Well, I'll
You
let you
messed
know
up.
next time.
That's one strike.
Yeah. But then and then I tried to play this other game today. I saw that they added Crash 4
Oh
on
yeah,
Game
on
Pass.
Game Pass, yeah.
And I downloaded it. I tried to play it, and I kept getting a server issue with BattleNet.
Oh, okay. I was
For
gonna say
some
that game
reason,
is
it
not
connects
online. Okay, so
right.
it has to
For
con.
some
Well,
reason, the
that's where we're
game.
getting them from, right? That's where we're getting the game from. Man, that's what sucks
Well, you
about.
have to have the extension, yeah,
Yeah.
on the Xbox app, and then it logs you in through BattleNet, and then you can launch the game. Fine, I was able to launch it, but every time I get to the continue screen, the main screen, it says log in, like hit continue to log in, and then it just keeps looping. It fails to log in, so
Mm,
something's going on with their BattleNet. But it's a single player game. It shouldn't even be the case that I have to go through this.
yeah. If it doesn't connect, just put put me to play the game offline. Like you don't need a
Right?
connection for that one. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
So I never got to play it. So
Okay.
anyway, but that's been the last this week of
All right.
content for that.
So let's get then into the news because all right, here we go. So, as you mentioned, yes, the Gears of War Reloaded beta was throughout the weekend up until Sunday at 3 p.m. I did get to play Friday. I was able to play it. I
Mm,
played with Goku, Joel, and Brugal. All of
mm,
us were
nice.
playing together. I'll tell you what they think about the game in a little bit, but we played for like an hour and we did have fun because, again, when you play it, any game you play, as long as you're playing with friends, you're having fun because you're playing with friends. Not
Yeah.
necessarily because of the game, and we're going to get into it. Okay. Um, so, yeah, so I have an article here about the beta because, again, it was a disaster. I was only able to play that 1 hour, an hour and a half or so, and I every time I tried to get into it and play again, I never was able to play. I never was able to connect to play against anybody, even on my own. I wasn't able to. Now you did say you
Mm,
played. When did you play?
yeah. I it was either Friday night or Saturday, no, it was Friday night, like really, really late at the night. It was well,
Okay.
I guess technically Saturday morning. It was like a 3 in the morning.
Oof. Okay.
So
I it's okay that you didn't text me to play at that time. I'm
yeah,
alright with that. And how long did you play?
yeah. I went to I went to walk my dogs, and then I only really played like 4 matches.
Okay.
It wasn't very long. I just wanted to try it out because I got home kind of late, and I was like, oh, let me try this out, see how it goes. And
What'd you
yeah, no, I was
think?
able to get in almost right away. And I
Okay.
don't know, it plays like regular Gears One. Plays better on mouse and keyboard, so it's nice. It's quick. It's way quicker on mouse and keyboard. So because somehow the joystick, there's I don't know if I remember correctly or how it was back then, but it was a little slow. And so sometimes it was for you to like turn around if someone's shooting you from behind or something like that. It was slower to turn
Yeah,
around, but
that's one of the many
but
issues the beta had. That even if you put the sensitivity all the way, it still doesn't, like, it doesn't register. Like, it's a bug that
yeah.
doesn't make any changes. So yeah.
Okay. So I wasn't bugging because I was like, oh, this feels really slow
Yeah.
on the on the controller. So I switched to mouse and
Yeah.
keyboard, and then it was way better. So it was smoother. Yeah, I mean, it plays like Gears One, like the Gears that I remember. Nothing crazy. So I didn't really have any issues, any crashing or anything like that. Because I was able to get into the 4 games that I went into, like 3 or 4 games immediately, and it was fine. I don't know. I didn't have any issues. It doesn't look great. I mean, it looks slightly updated, but it isn't much of an upgrade. So which I guess is why a lot of people are getting it for free. Because remember that I don't know if you read, but there were like there were a few people who already had the game, and if you already bought the game for the Xbox One version, I think, or
Yeah, the ultimate version.
the the ultimate version, you get it for free.
Yeah.
So they have a message that says that you get it for free. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's fine. I didn't really have any issues.
You had no problem with it other than the sensitivity.
Well, as far again, I only played like 3 4 games. So if I had played like an hour, maybe I would have seen a lot more other stuff. Oh, one match they just threw me into an already ongoing match,
Yeah,
so
because it's
I was there.
social. Social
Yeah,
is like that. If you were to play
right.
rank, it wouldn't do that. It would just get everyone
Mm,
together first and then put you in the match.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
But
let
yeah,
me.
that was it. But I
Okay,
also didn't go with a group, right?
okay.
That's so
Yeah, you
I was
played it
just
on
by
your own.
myself.
Yeah, with randoms.
Yeah, so I'm sure that that's a lot less bugs in there because it doesn't have to keep the whole party together. So
That was another issue that it would kick us out whenever
yeah.
let's say the host, whenever the host went back to the main menu, it would separate us all, and then we'll have to get back together, which
Mm,
is all right. Here we go. You ready?
that's what they should have updated, right? Because I see the
That's the
original
thing.
one was like that.
Well, no, the original had servers. Because I remember playing with Goku, we had to be in a party, and both of us look for the servers, and then say, okay, which servers do you see? Okay, I'm seeing this one. If
Uh,
I see if we both see the same one, then we'll go, okay, well, let's get into that one so we can be together. And once we go in, then we'll have to switch teams so that we could be in the same team. And in order to switch teams, we had it had to be uneven, because if the teams were even, it wouldn't let us switch teams, right? So if there were 2 and 2, it was 4 against 4. But if it was 2 and 2, it wouldn't let me switch teams until an odd one came
yeah,
in. So it was 3 and 2, and then I could switch the teams. Anyway, I'm really disappointed in the Gears of War remake or remaster or whatever they call it, because that's
reloaded.
one of
Yeah,
the things that they need to fix. If it's a remaster, you need to. I know they told us, the graphics, audio was going to be improved. Um, we went through the list, I believe, last week, right? And they didn't
yeah,
really say they changed the game itself. They didn't change the way the game played at all. I was hoping, I guess, that they did something to it so that it would feel more 2025 or at least
yeah,
2016 or later, something like that. Um, so yeah, so the game is Gears of War from back in 2006 or 7 when it came out. It's the
yeah,
same game. It just looks better. Now, does it look way better than Ultimate? It's hard to say. I haven't played Ultimate in a long time, but from what I remember, I don't really think it does. I think they would have been fine putting in or putting Ultimate on PlayStation and then make it so that we could play together. If that's something I don't know if they thought about it.
Mm,
But yeah, but the beta had a lot of issues, not just because of how the game played. And did you go into the settings and turned off the camera shake?
no,
No, you
I
didn't
left
have
that as
any
is.
issues with the camera shake.
Not that I like when you're running
Yeah,
and it does a
the
little like
rotary run.
wobble.
Yes,
Uh,
you were
I
fine with it.
mean, no, yeah, I was fine with it. I don't know
Okay.
if
Yeah,
I don't know if what I would be looking for. It just looks like it was just the animation when he runs. You can't really do anything anyway, right? So while
I
you're
mean,
running,
right, but so when I first played it, I right away I went like, oh my god, you left this because I don't know if you remember, I did say that hopefully they would be able to update at least that one part so that the camera doesn't move too, because it does move a lot when you
yeah,
run, so that you can see, not just where you're going, but you can see clearly if anybody's coming, either, whichever way. After
yeah,
that match, though, I did find out that you can turn it off. And so, of course, I went into the
mm,
settings and I did turn off, and that made a great difference. The game was playable. So, uh, I'm going to go ahead and read something here that pretty much says everything.
sums it up.
Yeah, like it sums it
Yeah,
up, um, because it wasn't great. Not just for me, but anyway, let's get into it. So, all right. So, who's making these terrible decisions? Fans are even more upset as Gears of War Reloaded disappointing beta leaves some unable to play. This is from the gamer. Okay.
yeah,
Did you ever think we'd see Gears of War flying the PlayStation colors? What a time we live in. Gears of War Reloaded has finally given PlayStation owners a chance, I guess, to see what all the fuss is about and experience the convenience of waist high walls. Unfortunately, the multiplayer beta did not go as well as planned. Many reported connectivity issues that didn't allow them
yeah.
to check out the beta over the weekend, while others said that they weren't able to play because their free upgrade for owning the original Gears of War Ultimate Edition still hadn't arrived. To make things worse, the beta ended as scheduled in the middle of the day at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, leaving many fans wishing it had been extended. Okay. Connectivity issues during a beta test is pretty normal, and with the popular title finally coming to PlayStation, you can imagine that there were a lot of people trying to get in. Unfortunately, there was too much load on the service, which left a lot of fans hanging, weeding out issues in the whole point of is the whole point of the beta. But but fans were disappointed to learn that the test didn't run a little longer to make up for the lost time. Usually, weekend beta tests run until Sunday evenings U.S. time, or even Monday mornings, to give enough people the chance to play and developers enough time to collect learnings. However, with the beta being so rough already, fans were even more disappointed that they didn't get the most out of the test. Some even took this as a bad omen. I see what he did there, omen, for Gears of War E Day. I don't really. I'm gonna just jump in here. I don't really think this has much to do with how Gears E Day is gonna be. Now, I did
Okay.
think about this part though about Gears E Day, and it's that many people who tried to play Gears of War Reloaded, even if they got to play it, they got to play a game that's not really updated for the times in 2025, and so that they may not want to play that game being as rough as it is, because it's not fluid, it's not seamless. Like the animation is not as seamless as the latest Gears. So maybe
Right.
if they play this and they don't like it, when Gears E Day comes out, they might go ahead and think, oh, you know what? I didn't like Gears Reloaded. I don't think I'm gonna get into E Day. So that way, I did think about it. So the Gears community Twitter did tweet, weekend number one of the Gears of War Reloaded multiplayer beta has now ended. Thank you for playing, whoever could. Come back next weekend for King of the Hill, Carnage, and more maps. Starting on Friday, June 12th. I'm sorry, June 20th at 12 p.m. Pacific time, which is 3 p.m. Again, they didn't even change it. I guess they didn't hear the feedback. Now the article continues and it says, so y'all just gonna put more days in with all the server issues y'all had? Said a comment in response to a tweet signaling the end of the test period. With the game launching on August 26th, many fear that we might get a half-baked version of the classic title. Se- uh, severely disappoint Severely disappointed. This game can't launch like this in August, so I really hope y'all make changes, said another, hoping the beta is actually utilized how it should be. I can't believe, yeah, this is crazy, man. I can't believe with all the service problems, where a lot of people couldn't even get into a game Friday, that we don't even get a full Sunday to play. Uh, it seems everyone thinks that the game needs more time in the oven. With just over 2 months till launch, Gears of War Reloaded currently does not look like it'll get a great reception, and this disastrous beta has only made fears worse. So I just, like, in a way, I'm thinking, okay, what was the point of the remake? I mean, cause or remaster. I don't know what are they calling it? Remaster?
No, Reloaded. That's
No, yeah,
I don't know if
that's the
it's
name of
considered
the
a remake
title.
or a remaster.
Yeah, I don't know, but let's say I'm gonna say remaster because it does.
Remaster.
There's no remake
Yeah,
to me at least. So I don't know what
yeah,
the point of the remaster is because it's the same game. I wish they did the same as Oblivion because Oblivion is they call it a remaster, but they did
yeah,
some updates to it so that it could play better. They did some quality of life adjustments to the
yeah,
game. In this one, they just took the game, put a coat of paint on it, and that's it. They didn't even bother to
yeah.
change the menu from Ultimate. It's the same menu. So if
Right,
if they had made just little changes here and there, like you don't have to go in and change the whole game. It doesn't need to feel exactly like Gears 5, but at least made it
right, right.
playable or something like that. Like I don't know. I don't know. Will I play it? Yeah, I'm gonna play it because I'm a Gears fan. I'm gonna be there, especially if someone else plays with me. I don't play them on my own, but I know Goku is gonna want to play it, sometimes, and I'm gonna be there.
No.
Wh- I'm
But I
talking
don't
too
know
much.
what
What
the
do you think?
fuzz
Yeah.
like. It's still a beta. Like maybe, and maybe they should have clarified what they were testing realistically. Maybe like there is a matchmaking system where all the parties are they stay together fine and then everything looks okay. But this is the whole
Okay.
point of the beta to like
Yeah.
break it and see where it's breaking, see what happens, and get data. And so like when when you think of closed testing, I don't know if you ever tested software before, but when you do software testing, you have to have a schedule for it because you still need the time afterwards to analyze and to do all this other stuff, right? So like the whole idea is to okay, well, people are having issues getting in, right? Okay, we have the data for that. Well, we're not going to extend it because then it's going to skew the rest of the data that we have planned for. That's why they have two back-to-back betas, right? They have this weekend, next weekend. They're testing for different things. So to be like, oh, can we have more hours? Is like, no, this is exactly what we were testing for because we want to make sure that upon cutoff, like, what if hypothetically, what if they were testing some sort of server thing where, like, hey, at 3 p.m. or at a specific hour, we have to cut off because we have all these other things that happen afterwards, right? So we are aware and we can test it and we can see. There's so many variables to testing software, and
You're so optimistic,
like
yeah.
this is no, it's not up to me. It might
No,
still be broken and I mean still stuck when it comes
yeah.
out. But the
No, it's
reality of
true.
like when you're testing software, you're testing for very specific environments. And those environments, the whole point of testing it is to break it. right? It's make sure that if we do this, what happens? If we take this away, what happens? If we add this, what happens? It's like, okay, well, we have to make sure that we test these broken states so it doesn't happen when we actually launch the game. And we don't know. Maybe there is a like, hey, join us, in late July for like another beta, right? Just because we want to test some other parts out. But like it's kind of weird that people are having a fit for like the guy who or the person who wrote that article. It's like, bro, this is exactly what this is for. I would understand if they launched the game and then it was like this, and then at that point, all of those issues and all of those things are merited, like the articles and the negative perception. Then at that point, it makes sense, right? But this is the reason why they have these betas. Is because we need to know, we need to break it, we need to see how the load works from different platforms now, right? Like this is the first time that they're releasing
On
a thing
PlayStation.
on Xbox, on PlayStation, on PC, all at the same time, at least from this team, right? Directly. And so
Yeah.
I'm sure they've obviously launched like Xbox has launched
Well,
games everywhere at the one
yeah, yeah,
time
but no,
across the
no
board,
PS5,
right?
right, right.
But this is like the first, and so they have to now like kind of test not just the multiplayer, but how do the platforms connect with each other? How do the servers from different places, and so there's a lot of stuff that happens whenever they're doing these tests, and so like that's why I don't get mad. Like I went in and I couldn't play the first time on Thursday, which we tried to go in on Thursday because it was like
Yeah,
available, quote unquote.
yeah.
But uh, you got to play a match, and
Yeah,
I couldn't get in it. There was like server issues. It was like, all right, yeah, let's just shut it down and go to
yeah.
another game, and we'll try
Thursday.
again tomorrow. If it doesn't work,
So
what?
yeah, so I'm sorry, but on Thursday, yeah, it wasn't. We weren't supposed to be playing on Thursday. It wasn't supposed to start then. I was
Right.
lucky, I guess, that I was able to play one match. Um,
But then you started to get mad at that point. You're like, oh man, and then that negative
but
perception already started, even though it was your
exactly,
fault.
but it
To,
wasn't because yeah, I was frustrated that we couldn't play together, but also
right.
playing the game and seeing what they did with the game, where I was playing the Gears of War of 2007 with new graphics, no changes at all. I was really,
Yeah.
and yeah, I shouldn't get disappointed because again, they didn't tell me, hey, we're changing the game, we're updating it so that it's more seamless, more
Right.
fluid. The animation, you like, I don't know.
They
It's
didn't say any of that.
They didn't
You,
say any
you
of that,
set
and I'm
yourself
still
up
getting
for
upset.
disappointment.
And I'm still getting upset. And I wasn't the only one though, because we played for that 1 hour, but the guys didn't really want to continue playing it. They said, you know what, let's go to Gears 5, and we went to Gears 5, and everybody was saying, oh my god, what a big difference, because
Yeah.
that you could change the FOV, and then the animation, just the animation alone, when you take cover, you cannot take cover and then move out of that cover to continue running like you do in Gears 5, or
Oh, like
maybe
wall bounce.
not wall bounce, but like you get into the cover and at the edge, and then you're able to continue to run right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
In this one, you get into that cover, and you try to do it as if you do it in Gears 5 or some of the other ones, but you cannot. It's like you have to wait for it to settle, and then you can move and continue to
Right.
run. It's not
There's a delay.
seamless. There's many
Right.
things like, yes, the beta part, yeah, and I understand. There's gonna be connection issues. I wish I was able to play it, because I would have played it a lot more. Because I did want to play it a lot more, at least on Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday I wasn't able to play at all, but on Saturday I did want to play. I did try a couple of times to see if it'll work, and it did not. And
Mm.
and speaking of that, they know people couldn't connect. They
Right.
know that
Yeah.
those who had Gears of War Ultimate did not get to play it because they never got the beta, I guess, invitation for having the game. Uh,
Mm.
and in that tweet, they didn't even say anything about that. Like, well, we're sorry. We heard or we know that some people weren't able to play. We're sorry. Nothing like that. They just said, "Oh, thank you for playing the beta, and see you next
Yeah.
weekend." Like nothing about that. So I'm hoping
No,
the next weekend it does work better. Hoping that they did get some feedback from this one and they go and
yeah,
fix something that maybe will make it playable this weekend, and we can play. Maybe Friday night or Saturday night, because I enjoy playing it with friends. It's still a good game. It's not a bad game, right? But
yeah.
I just wish they updated some little things.
That's the one thing that Halo Infinite did really well. The beta was actually pretty solid for Halo Infinite, and they set it up. People got in it. Of course, it was a smaller group of people, right? It was only Xbox and PC, but it was very well done. And then they did tweak, because I also think they did something similar where it was like this weekend, and then I think 2 weeks
I
after,
don't remember
or
that.
the I don't remember. So they did it in like two sections as well.
Okay.
It wasn't back to back weekends, but they did it in two separate times. And so, but yeah, it was pretty good, pretty solid. But of course, that's the thing, is that we don't know, right? Like, I don't know the design choices of, okay, well, the net code is the same, and then we have to adjust it to the PlayStation, or the net code is going to be changing for everyone just so we can be on a level ground. Like, I don't know which direction they decided to go to rework the network.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that you have a problem with, right? Is that this other platform is completely different. Well, maybe not completely different, but there's some changes, some differences from the PC Xbox platform, right? And so
But it's not the
I don't
first
know if
game
they
to do
if
it,
they
though. I
were,
mean, there's so many games that are cross-platform play with PlayStation, PC, and
yeah.
Xbox, and they work fine. Of course, yeah,
But
they're
that's what I'm
full
saying. I
games
don't
now,
know.
right?
What I'm saying is that this netcode, if it is the original game that came out
Oh,
in
okay, okay.
2007, like, that's a
Now I see what you
whole
mean.
different thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they were like, okay, well, let's get this netcode and adjust it to our current systems.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that. There was a connection error, so I had to adjust, and now we're back. So you were saying, Maestro, about the connection,
Yeah,
the net code.
yeah. So I don't know if they decided that. I don't think they said anything like that or mentioned anything like that, where they said we're going to adjust our old netcode to whatever platform we're introducing, or if they from scratch they were like, we're gonna have to rewrite everything when it comes down to the netcode, and see if we can then adjust it, right? Um, that's like a big undertaking, and so that would take a lot more time. So I don't know if they would invest the money and time into rewriting all of that from scratch, just so they can release it everywhere. I think that they probably want the easiest route possible, right?
Probably because like
Because this is, yeah,
and this game, like I'm gonna play it, like I said, but I'll be playing it till Gears E Day gets here, which will be in a year's time. So I
yeah,
am glad that this game is here because nostalgia is a big weapon. When I was playing the game, I was
yep,
already remembering the way that I was, like I told you. Oh, I remember it. We had servers. We had to do this and that to be able to play it together. And
yeah.
then,
I don't even
it,
remember that. That's
yeah,
crazy.
and then Gridlock
Yeah,
is one of the maps. And Gridlock, I think,
yeah.
has been in every Gears of War. It's
It's a staple.
what's the map for Halo that's always been there? Blood Gulch.
Blood Gulch. No,
They
not Blood
changed it.
Gulch wasn't
Oh no,
always there, but they did update it, but not. It
right.
wasn't always there. I think the one map is some Lockout. I think one of the latest ones, the one where it's like outside and it's like snowing, and it's like
Uh,
you're on four, five different towers.
I thought it was the other map where there's a base on one side, a base on the other side. There's a little hill in the middle so that you don't see, you know, the other place. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean
If I see it,
that's
I'll
Blood
remember.
Gulch.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hasn't that
Yeah,
been in every
that's
Halo?
yeah, but that
But they
no,
changed
I
the
don't think it
name.
was in Halo. Yeah, they changed the name, but I don't think it was in Halo 3.
Mm.
And it wasn't originally in Halo 2. They just like the anniversary version, they added it.
Okay.
The anniversary like
Yeah.
updated version, but it wasn't originally in 2 or 3, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. But anyway, but I
Yeah.
know what you're saying. Like it's one of
Gridlock
those maps that
is
just stay.
yeah. Gridlock is
Yeah,
the is Gears everywhere. Whenever they come out with the Gears, they usually put that map in there. They do. They don't change the
yeah,
name. They just they change how it looks because of course it has to look as good as the new game.
right.
They don't change anything about the map itself. I don't believe so. But
No,
yeah,
I don't. They even keep the same weapons, right? Like for the
yeah.
most part, like the
uh,
sniper's always in the same place,
the
right? And
boom
the
is always
grenades
in
are
the
always in the same
middle.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had Raven Down, and when I saw Raven Down, I think that was the match I played on Thursday. As soon as I saw it, I'm like,
Mm,
"Oh man, Raven Down is yeah." It looked, it looked not incredible, but it did look really good. The lighting is the
yeah.
one thing that stands out the most in this
Mm,
Reloaded. But yeah,
yeah.
again,
Yeah.
1 year I'll be playing it here and there whenever Goku wants to play or you want to play or whoever wants to play. I'm there. I'm not gonna say no because there's so many maps. I'm already thinking about rooftop.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about gas station or fuel depot, tyro station where the train goes through the middle. I'm already thinking about all those maps. So I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so
And you know what's crazy? That just before we go, sorry, before we
yeah,
move, the like you mentioned nostalgia and how strong that is
bro,
because right now the it is the number I believe is the number one game on the PlayStation Store and like the number one in
pre-order,
sales right now, like pre-orders and all that
really
stuff. Yeah,
already? Wow.
which yeah, and so you know a lot of those people, right? They're coming from the or they used to play a lot in the 360 and they were
People
like
who
huge fans
left.
like, "Man, I gotta go see." Yeah, and so that's a huge I mean, it's above, Death Stranding 2, which is,
Oh, I didn't hear
you know,
about this. That's
a
crazy.
bit yeah. So
Wow,
I was
that's
like, "Oh, snap.
that's.
Okay, well, a lot of people are looking."
Oh, you there? Yeah, Maestro, if you hear me, I don't hear you. You froze.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you're
No.
back. You're back. You're back.
Yeah,
I hear
okay,
you.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Um,
happened.
Speaking of Death Stranding, this is what I'm gonna say about Death Stranding right now. I told you I played Death Stranding 1, and I didn't really like it. I didn't
Yeah.
really want to continue it. But hearing and seeing Death Stranding 2, I'm more interested in Death Stranding 2 than 1, because
Mm,
it's it's different in many ways. You still walk and all that, but the gameplay they added
right,
so
right.
many things to it. So
That's
okay,
the one thing that I didn't like about Death Stranding was the battling, the combat in Death Stranding. It was like way too easy, and it didn't matter what weapon you brought in, especially when you were in combat with other humans. Like any weapon would take everybody out quickly, so you didn't
mm.
really need to experiment to see like how which weapon would work best. Now with those the BTs, the dead whatever those ghost things changing the ammo type took those down, so that was kind of cool, but the combat is way too I mean I don't even think I ever died in that game.
Wow.
Maybe I died twice because the problem was that even when you're like when you run out of ammo and you're in the middle of a combat with these like BTs or these things,
Yeah.
like there's always something that gives you ammo constantly. They just throw ammo at you. So I'm like, okay, so it didn't matter that I could have gone in this battle with absolutely no ammo, and I still would have made it out, you know?
All right.
So, anyway,
All right.
that's a
Well,
pet peeve of mine for that game.
in summary, getting back to Gears of War Reloaded, I wish they did more. But what it is what
Yeah.
it is, and I will be there for at least till Gears E Day comes out. Because when Gears E Day comes out, it's gonna be a way better game, and so I'm gonna be there.
Of
I'm just
course.
gonna be playing that. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
any last thoughts on that?
Last thoughts?
Yeah,
No, no, I mean, I'm looking forward to the game when it comes out. Hopefully none of these issues are still present because if they are
yeah,
still present, then the betas would have been for a waste,
nothing.
you know?
Hmm.
So yeah, I'll be there though. It's on Game Pass, so I'm gonna have it pre-downloaded. So it's good.
All right, so let's get into the next news because Xbox put out a video today, which I'm gonna play. You will not be able to hear it yourself, but you've heard it already. You've seen the video.
I've seen it.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
just gonna play it here for for the audio listeners, and I'm gonna put the video for the YouTube people, so they can see it too. So I'll let you know when it's done. It's only you'll be able to see it.
you
It's
see
one
it.
minute 17. So,
Yeah.
all right, here we go.
At Xbox, our vision is for you to
AMD.
play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want. That's why we're investing in our next generation hardware lineup
So
across
blurry.
console, handheld, PC, cloud, and
It's very
accessories.
blurry.
I am thrilled to share we've established a strategic
Yeah,
multi-year
720.
partnership with AMD
There
to
you go.
co-engineer silicon across a portfolio of
let me
devices
bring it back a
and
little.
anywhere you want.
Okay.
That's why
You know
we're
what, I'll
investing
put
in
it
our
in the
next
beginning.
generation hardware lineup across.
Here we go.
The whole
Sorry.
video.
At Xbox, our vision is for you to play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want. That's why we're investing in our next generation hardware lineup across console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories. I am thrilled to share we've established a strategic multi-year partnership with
You think she
AMD
plays games?
to
Cyberbomb?
co-engineer silicon across
Hold
a
on.
portfolio of devices, including our next generation Xbox consoles, in your living room and in your hands. Together with AMD, we are advancing the state of art in gaming silicon to deliver the next generation of graphics innovation to unlock a deeper level of visual quality and immersive gameplay and player experiences enhanced with the power of AI, all while maintaining compatibility with your existing library of Xbox games. This is all about building you a gaming platform that's always with you, so you can play the games you want across devices anywhere you want, delivering you an Xbox experience not locked to a single store or tied to one device. That's why we're working closely with the Windows team to ensure that Windows is the #1 platform for gaming. The next generation of Xbox is coming to life, and this is just the beginning. We can't wait to show you what's next.
All right. So she said a lot of things that we already knew. I mean, even if they
Yep.
hadn't said it before, we knew it was going to be AMD. There's no way they're going to go with Nvidia because they want to be able to have or make a new Xbox compatible or backwards compatible with all the games that we are able to play today on the Xbox. So they're not going to go with Nvidia because Nvidia will probably not be able to get backwards compatible there. Um, but yeah, so that part
I
we
mean, why
kind of knew.
not?
I mean, I don't know. It could
Because it.
be possible, but they may have to work overtime for that because it's a new graphics card, right? So it'll have to do things differently than what they are used to. I don't know. I'm not a
Yeah, but then you can emulate it. You can do an emulation layer. You can do
yeah.
a couple of things. But yeah, I guess it's just the cost of things, right? And is it worth it having to switch everything up and then do emulation and then do this whole thing? May not be worth it, right? And so maybe
Yeah.
they stick with AMD on that
Right.
process.
AMD already knows how to do it. It's been done already. All they had to do is move it forward to the next graphics card. There's no uh, research that they need to do. And, if it were NVIDIA, they'll have to do research. Okay, how can we make our graphics card work to make all the old games work on the next Xbox? That's not. That's nothing. That's not something they have to worry about at AMD. They have that packed already. They know. She did mention something that, well, two things. So one is that she mentioned in your hands, and I say that because last week or the last few days there was a rumor that the handheld was being canceled at Xbox, but it doesn't seem like it is. Her saying in your hands, unless she means that the Xbox OS that they're putting into the ROG Xbox Ally is what she's talking about. I don't know if that's it.
Yeah.
You think? What do you think? You think it's
Well,
the
the
third
thing
party one or first
there,
party? Still.
there's one. What's weird is that there's a rumor that they're making a handheld,
Hmm.
and then now there's a rumor that they've canceled the handheld, but nothing was ever verified.
No.
Even the fact that they were making it wasn't even verified. I think
Well,
a while ago, Phil Spencer had
yeah,
mentioned something about like, yeah, we want to do more, more handheld stuff, but that could mean anything, right? That could mean we want
that could mean
to run our OS
yeah.
on ROG or any other device. We want to run an OS even on a separate console. Or we want to run our OS in like Xbox OS on a browser, right? There's so many variations of all those things. So not sure why people are like, oh, I heard it's canceled. Well, you heard it's made, but they haven't even announced anything that they're working on anything,
Yeah, it's all
right? And
rumors.
so I feel that, yeah. So I have no opinion on any of that. I do think that they are working on hardware, but I don't know to what extent. Would it be beneficial to work on simultaneously to work on a console if they're doing a console and a handheld at the same time? I don't know. I don't know if that's resources wise. If it's better to focus everything in one and then move on to the next one, or just focus on both at the same time. I don't know if that would be. I think that if that was true, if they were building an Xbox handheld to build both at the same time would take resources that they probably don't have at this moment in time. They're trying to downsize. They've every other month they're laying people off. So I don't know if they're trying to realistically develop two different devices at the same time. Um,
I mean,
so what's nice? No, go ahead.
that's sort of what they did with the Series X and the Series S. No?
Yeah, that's what they did there. But if hypothetically, if they're going into develop a machine that's a hybrid, right, of console and PCs, then you realistically only, if they're gonna go this route, you would only build one. Because for those who want more out of their boxes, then they would just upgrade whatever components they can. Maybe add more RAM, right? Maybe you want better, but if it's PC like, then maybe there's a section there to upgrade your RAM, upgrade your storage, and then you can just just put it in and then automatically. So at that point, you really have to just make one baseline hardware, and then the user has the option to really boost it up if they wanted to and spend more money on it. So you don't have to have two separate SKUs. You just have one minimal SKU. That's it.
I'm thinking about now because, as you know, I'm a PC gamer now, so I know about PCs. Well, not as much as the geeks out there. No offense, right? I'm not offending anyone. I'm kind of a geek too, uh, but I'm thinking about what you're saying right now, and I don't know if that's possible because when they make a console, or let's say the next console is a PC, right? Sort of, right? I don't think
Yeah.
that you'll be able to upgrade the specs on it, right? Because right now the PC is as big as it is, right? Because every piece of it is made in a certain way. But when they make a
Right.
console, it's shrunk. So if you were to
Hmm.
upgrade something in your console, then there has to be the pieces that you're looking for, let's say in this case RAM, will have to be manufactured in the way that it would be for the console, right? Because I don't think though that you'll be able to get RAMs for PC and put them in your console because it won't fit. You see what you know what I
Well,
mean?
that's what I'm saying. You could do something like that. So, for example, like on my PC, right, I have four slots for RAM, right? But what if you just have two slots and then you have it built with like 32 gigs of RAM? But if the user wants to upgrade it, then they would just buy 64 gigs of RAM and have the 32 slots right there, right? So
Right.
it will be minimal weight, but that's not it doesn't take up that much space. And in order for them to get it where the price would be minimal, right?
Right.
Your
Affordable.
your graphics card and affordable, yeah, your graphics card and your CPU are probably not super high end, super expensive. And most of the time, I think that they combine those into a single unified chip, right? So that's another thing they can do. Unify the chip. So your GPU, your CPU runs on the same chip, which cuts down a lot of space. and then the user can upgrade the RAM or the storage individually if they wanted to, and then have a very like a PC like machine, right? So like I don't know, like laptops in general, right? They don't have a GPU; they have everything built into one
Mm-hmm.
processor, one
Yeah.
chip. And the ROG Ally, right? It's the same thing. They have one unified chip that runs all the graphics and the CPU stuff in a single chip. And so
Component. Yeah.
at that point, if you make that chip really, really powerful, but within reason, where it's not super crazy, you can get it at a good spec. Uh, and all the user would have to do if they want more power is then upgrade and the RAM. But also another thing you can do too, right? So for example, with like in PC right now or in Macs as well, you can get external GPUs that you can attached to your devices,
Yeah.
and it's like a standalone GPU. So if you really wanted to go that route, you would have the ability to do that.
I
Be
believe
like,
they
I
do
want a
that.
beast at home.
Is it? Do they do that with the ROG Ally that's out there right now? Can you do that?
They
Okay.
also they
Yeah.
also have an external GPU boost or whatever that you can
Yeah,
attach to it.
bro.
So they have stuff like that already, right? And so like for those people who want more power but just not spend so much money, well, you have that option as well. And then you have a little mini PC at home, and you can use PC parts to upgrade if you wanted to. If not, it'll play just like the baseline, right? And so there, at that point, you don't have to make what it solves two problems. You don't have to make games specifically
Enhance
for
with the
that hardware because it'll run PC games already. So you don't have to create a whole other game for that. So it'll be just one game that you can run everywhere. And the other thing too is that it minimizes the development time because you don't have to worry about an additional platform, which is nice, right? And I forgot what the other thing I was going to say, but uh, oh yeah, also it'll the benefit of that is that you can upscale the devices that you're running it on, and so you don't have to worry about specific specs of that. And if you just create a mainline, so it'll be like minimum requirements for PC would be the Xbox, right? That would be the minimum
I mean,
requirements.
unless they do what they
And so
did
you,
just with the Series X, where they had the Series S, where
yeah,
it's way different, you know.
right.
But if people had that option where they could get the extra for the GPU so it could run better, maybe they could get that later on and make it better.
Right. And that's the thing too, that you then don't have to develop two different things. You just develop one thing, so it cuts down on your development time for hardware, but also for software because you're only making one game. You don't make an Xbox game and then a PC game. And
Mm.
so that all those things are beneficial at the end, especially for development time.
All right,
So,
well, we're gonna have to see what they do with it. It's gonna be interesting because I'm hoping they don't do two different things like they did now with the Series X and S. I'm hoping they just do one. No matter what it
yeah.
is, just do one. If you want to do, um, do you think they're gonna have a disk drive, or do you think they're gonna?
Oh, I don't think so, bro. I think that this
Yeah.
generation, specifically now, if they see that like 5% of the people are using their disk drive, and then at that point, because they can see the things that are being installed directly from a disk.
So I
Um,
believe
at
they're
that
gonna.
point, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And not. I mean, I was thinking that for some time now, but now with Gears of War Reloaded, I don't know if you heard, but it's not gonna be on a disc for Xbox, but it is gonna be on a
Mm.
disc for PS5.
Yeah, well, did they confirm the full game is gonna be there, or is it gonna be like 300 megabytes,
Well, I
and then you still
see.
have to,
I
yeah,
don't know. I know they're gonna
because
Call of
that's what
Duty
they've
it.
been doing a lot. Yeah,
Call of-
exactly. You're like, here's a disc,
yeah,
and it's like
yeah,
nothing,
yeah.
500
You
kilobytes.
can't
It's
play
like,
it without the
okay, this
first
is
patch. Then that patch is 20 gigs.
you're right,
No, I don't know if
right.
they're gonna do that or not. But
So
just saying
I
that
have a feeling they
alone,
are.
yeah. But
Yeah.
let's say it's even if it has a patch for 20 gigs is still on a. They're still putting
Yeah.
out a disc for PS5 and not for the Xbox. So that already tells me, yeah, they're done with disc on the Xbox. I'm thinking the next Xbox is just gonna be digital. Um,
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree that only because one, it's going to bring down the cost, right? Because you don't have to add a CD drive in
Disk
there,
drive, yeah.
and then two, because it's more PC like, hopefully, then you would just get an external CD drive if you really wanted to, right? Like if you had a huge library of physical games and you wanted to go that route, then, fine. Here's
I mean, okay,
the
so
attachment for it.
does your PC have a disk drive?
No, the heck.
Mine neither. And PCs
Yeah,
have been
no
like
PC
that
I've had.
for well,
Yeah.
no, like the old ones that you had one.
Oh no, no, I know,
Does
but
your
I'm saying
laptop have one?
since Steam, no,
No.
my
Okay.
laptop has not
You
had
have
a
a
CD drive
you have a new one.
for like yeah, for like over 10 years, over a decade.
Yeah.
No Macs, no PC. Like they haven't had,
Hmm.
and especially in gaming.
Yeah.
Realistically, gaming once Steam came out and it became good enough. That's when the
Yeah.
whole gaming community was just like, never mind, we'll just get it from Steam. So
Mhm.
there
Yeah.
hasn't been a physical, although I think that they have some special runs right now for PC games that are on disc, which is wild because I think that Flight Simulator, if I'm not mistaken, has a CD, like the current Flight Simulator has to see. They're like 10 discs because they have the whole entire like world. Because in Flight Simulator streams like data from the
Yes.
cloud
Right. Right.
for location based stuff, right? But there you couldn't do that, so they literally have it in an entire like the whole entire game is on disk.
But guess what?
Let me double check.
Guess what? You
Yeah.
probably have to install those discs. It's not
Oh,
like
for sure.
I don't think they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh, you're mid-flight now. You got to put in disc number 7, which has the London map, so that we could get you
Yeah.
there. No, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
um, all right. Well, the second thing that she mentions that intrigued me is that she says Windows, right? And we kind of knew that now that they're gonna put Windows, or not Windows, but it is Windows, but we call it Xbox
Yeah.
OS on the ROG Ally or the Xbox Ally. I believe that's what they're gonna do with the next Xbox also, because they want to keep it consistent. If you're gonna be on the handheld when you get home, you want to have the same thing
Yep.
as the OS, and because of that, I don't know if it will be possible, because if they're able to get the same OS on the new Xbox, the one that's coming out 2028, 2027, whatever, maybe that will help them put it on the handheld so that it does the backwards compatible, so that you're able to play the 360 and Xbox original games, because you'll be able to do
Nice.
it on
Yep.
the home Xbox for sure, right? Whatever you play now, which is a lot of 360 games and original Xbox games,
Yep.
once they put it on the Xbox, they'll figure it out. Okay, so we got to figure it out. So with the new OS, let's go ahead and bring that over to the handheld. I believe that's going to happen.
Yep. Um, I also believe that. Oh, by the way, sorry to go back. So, Flight Simulator 2020 was released on disc. 10 discs. 10, bro. It's like
Yeah.
that's a lot of installation you have to go through. I don't know if it does it all, if you have to install everything in one run, or if you have to do it, like once you get to a certain point, they're like, okay, you need to install this other thing. Rather, I don't know, but anyway. But yeah, no, going back to the Xbox thing, I agree that they're gonna have to do something that obviously that plays all the classic games, right?
Yeah.
All the
Backwards
way
compatible
from the
games.
original.
Hmm.
Yep. What I do, man, what I really would wish, how they have the ROG Ally, how they redesigned this Xbox dashboard, whatever what they call it, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, that is like you said, it's running Windows, but it's a very stripped down version of Windows. that it's only for gaming, and so takes out a lot of processes in the background that aren't really needed for the games, right? I wish they can have that, and I can install that in on my PC. You know, like I don't want
I
to
think that's
deal.
coming.
I know that it cuts down. Nah, I don't know, because it's a very stripped down version of Windows. And I know, with Windows, obviously, you have a lot of other things that are
Mhm.
flexible and nice, right? So, my only thing is that things like mods and things like that would have to be also working on that handheld mode. That can be
Mm.
tricky. I don't know how this thing works, right? I don't know if that's because right now I use like Nexus Mod, and I use like their manager, their mod manager. I forget the name of it, but and so it's easy. I just click on it, install it, and then boot from there, and then all my mods are ready to go. So
Yeah.
I don't know
Hmm.
how that would work on this stripped down version of Windows. So it'd
Maybe
be
at
interesting.
first they won't, because you're right. It you need a full Windows basic. Maybe not the full Windows. Maybe they could make it work on the new OS, but you do need full Windows right now to be able to do it. If you have the Xbox OS or stripped down Windows with where you're not able to pull up an app
Do
or
you, do
even
you,
a browser or something like that. Yeah.
yeah. I need to at least be able to look at the game folder, right, and where all the executables are and all that stuff. Because
Right. Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's just a matter of like copy and pasting the mods right in
True.
there.
For some mods,
So
yeah.
I, yeah, I would just need. Well, you would need to have access to some of that, and I don't know how stripped down it is. Where and they may even take the access to the individual location of the folders for games. I don't know. So that would be my only concern with this stripped down version of Windows.
It's gonna be
And
tricky.
obviously there are a bunch of yeah. And obviously there's a bunch of other things that you can do in Windows. Like you can get download like all these apps and all these like inject a bunch of different little things that you want very specific to how you want it to run. So customization is huge, right? On the PC where you can make your
Mhm.
PC however you want. Everything, even the boot up sound, like you could do a very, very, very specific things. So obviously a lot of those things would have to be stripped out.
Yeah.
Um,
I would
to what
say
extent? That's what,
yeah, I
yeah.
would say don't expect it on the first iteration of the Xbox OS. It's not gonna be there for the first,
Yeah,
hooray of the handheld.
right, right,
If people, people are gonna be asking for it, they're gonna say, "Hey, come on, man! I'm playing a PC game because it is a PC game you're playing on the handheld. I
right,
need my mods. I need my things that I'm able to do with my game so that I could make it uh, make it look however I want. Like me, I like my reshades. Will I be able to reshade the game
right.
when it comes out? When I'm able to play it on the handheld? I don't know. If I were to get a handheld, I'm gonna say no. That's not gonna happen. At least at first. Will it be able to do it any time? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. Um,
I
speak.
also, I
Oh,
want to be able to like run emulators as well, right?
hmm.
I want to emulate like right now.
Okay.
You can get emulators for like PS1 games or like Nintendo 64 games, like old emulators, Sega, like the
So,
really really old games. And so
so here's what
that
I'm
to me is
thinking.
another key factor.
I don't think they're just gonna do the Windows stripped down OS only. I believe and hope that they do this. That you'll be able to have the Windows OS or the new Windows OS stripped down
Hmm.
OS, and you'll also have the option to go into full Windows. I don't think they're gonna
Yeah.
take
Okay.
that option away. The option will be there if you want to, but the Windows stripped down OS will be there for your games for the new games, so that you don't have
Yeah.
resources running in the background and taking CPU. Uh,
Right.
what do you call it? Like taking
Yeah. Like taking taking
from
up
the CPU.
resources
Yeah,
that
yeah,
could be
from the
used.
CPU.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do believe that option will still be there. Um,
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know, bro. Like Windows, it's Microsoft and the way they treat Windows is is not the best.
and
So
that's why they
you know,
they're going all in now with the Windows OS, and they have to,
yeah,
because if they want the handheld to work, it needs to do that. They need to do that.
Yeah, it needs to be. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it needs
Yeah,
to be
right.
stripped down because there's so many things that work in the background when you have full Windows going on that you don't really need. You wish you could
Yeah,
get rid of them so that your PC can run the best it can.
yeah,
And that's going
yeah.
to help with
I
batteries
agree.
too for the handheld.
Yeah, oh, 100%. And not only resources, but yeah, battery. Which my understanding from what I've been reading and watching some YouTube videos about when they release or when they were talking about this thing. Apparently, it's supposed to be it saves like 2 gigs of RAM alone just
Oh
by
yeah.
doing this stripped down
Yep.
version, right?
That's
So
awesome.
that's that. All right,
That's
without
awesome.
yeah, without doing much on your
Yeah.
end. Like, okay, well, that's and so battery for sure. But the thing about gaming in general, depending on how you use your game, like depending on how you want the quality you want to run it, battery is going to vary, right?
Yeah.
Like some people are going to be like, I don't care. I want max settings, even though I'm getting 30 FPS or less. Some people do that. And when you start to do things like that, I'm sure the battery is going to tank very quickly.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. All right. So
it'll
let's
be interesting.
continue with the ROG Xbox Ally because there is a rumor that it's gonna be coming out at the end of October, but there is no price yet for it. Well, at least not
Mm,
from Microsoft itself. But I'm gonna read here from
right.
what website is this? WCCF Tech, and it says. The ROG Xbox Ally is launching in a few months, but Microsoft reportedly has yet to commit to a price due to the uncertainty of the current economic situation. In a new report shared today, Windows Central corroborated with the rumored October launch window for the two handhelds, clarifying they are tentatively slated for late October. According to the outlet's sources, however, the rumored prices are 500 for the base model and 799 for the premium model. May not be accurate, as Microsoft has yet to commit to a price due to the tariffs imposed by the United States on products manufactured in countries such as China and Taiwan, where Asus manufactures its products. What do you think of these prices?
Um,
Five and
Man,
5 and 8.
yeah, yeah, it's 500 and 800. I think I I think it's actually semi reasonable, to be honest. 500 for sure is pretty good. Um, it's for the capabilities of the machine. Assuming, right? We don't even know like the full if it's gonna run well, but as from the current ROG Ally, which have had some pretty good reviews and they've had some pretty good performance considering the form factor that they're in. I don't know. I don't think that's such a bad pricing. I'm afraid that actually is going to be higher than that. That's my concern. That would be a good price to me. Somewhere between $700 and $800. Like that's a good price for the high end one. Somewhere around $500 for the low end one. I think those are good prices. But I keep saying, I think I said this last time to you as well that this is a product that is co-developed, or maybe not even co-developed. ROG Ally probably did all the hardware stuff, and then all the Microsoft is doing is slapping a layer on top of it of like Xbox. But the problem here is that okay, Asus needs to make money. They're not a platform holder. So it's not like they're getting money through other means. Their main money maker is selling this device, right? They don't make money. They don't make aftermarket money, maybe in accessories and stuff like that. But this is this has to be profitable out of the gate.
Yeah.
Not like an Xbox that will, yeah, they can lose some money in the beginning because they have Game Pass and they have all this other
Yeah.
like
The
Xbox
software.
Store, Microsoft stores, and
Hmm.
they sell games, right? And they can subsidize it in a way. This cannot be subsidized unless Microsoft is like, hey, we're gonna pay you to keep the. But at that point, what is the benefit of for Microsoft at that point. It's like, okay, we're gonna pay you, and then people are gonna use this, and then what? What do they get out of it? What, to test the UI? I guess maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just a
I
weird,
mean, it's one of
like,
the
it
things they're
doesn't
going to be able
it
to
does
do.
right. But do you pay for? I don't know. I really don't know where the end game is. That's why I don't think any subsidizing can happen in this machine. So when it comes out, it has to come out already profitable out of the gate.
Okay.
So that's gonna put a dent in the pricing, I think, right? And I hope that the high end would be 800, but it could be higher, and
It could be.
that's where it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, I was thinking it's going to be the higher one, the X one is, I mean, 800 will be great. Uh, but it could be
Yeah,
900, even 1,000. I don't think they're going to go, or they want to go up to 1,000, but if it happens, it's
that's
because
pretty high.
it is. So not everybody's going to get it. Only the, you know,
Yeah,
um, the
the
hardcore
super hardcore.
players, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So only they will be, and not just the hardcore, because if you may be hardcore, but you may not have the money. So,
yeah,
and if you know the differences between the two, I don't think you're gonna want to go with the 600 or 500 one in this rumor.
no,
I don't
no,
know if it's
yeah.
gonna be 500.
See,
I'm
the thing
thinking
to me,
600 maybe.
for me, the thing too is that, okay, well, I even if you do have the money, like, I don't see a problem with the price, right? And in my situation, I can afford that, but it's like, do I want to spend that there? Do I want to spend that much money there? Why not spend near $1,000 upgrading other components of my PC, which is where I spend most of my time, right?
Exactly what I was
So
thinking.
it's it's out of the range of that impulse buy. Like, $500, I think, is a good, like, impulse buy range where it's like, okay, this thing can play all my games on the go, and then it's like, all right, great. I can 120 hertz. It has some really good, like, specs for the price range. Then that becomes a very, like, easy buy because you're not really going to upgrade much. Maybe some storage on your PC or some, like, high end RAM, but, like, you're probably okay at the current state that you're in with those two components. You really would want to be more like the CPU and the GPU, and then at that point, it's like, okay, well, if it's $1,000 or $800 to $1,000, I might as well then get a better CPU or get a better something,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, but
That
that's
if it's
us though.
$400 or $500, that's a good spot.
And that's us thinking like that because we have a PC. But there may be people who
Right.
don't have a PC, they only have an Xbox, and they may be thinking about getting this, but they really should think about it because I've been thinking about it ever since last week. Do I really need it? Do I really want it? I would really want it.
Yeah.
I don't need it. Uh, so I was
Yeah.
thinking, man, instead of that, what could I get that will benefit me more? Because if I get this, it's gonna just sit right here, maybe by my desk or maybe by the TV, but
Right.
it's not gonna be getting used like because when I'm home, I'm on either the PC or I'm on the big TV. I'm not gonna be with a
Yeah.
handheld. Um, so I
Right.
was thinking, just like you, what else could I get? I was thinking, not a GPU or anything like that. My PC is good enough as it is right now. I don't think I need to change
Right.
anything to it for a few years now. But I was thinking maybe okay, so maybe a monitor, or maybe I could get a good, my not this headset, but the other headset just broke. I need a new headset.
Right.
There's things that
Yeah.
I do need to get way more than this. It would be nice
Yeah.
if I could get it, especially having the podcast where I'll be able to talk about it and say how it really feels to play or how the new OS runs to basically
Right.
preview the next Xbox because the next Xbox will have the something
Yeah.
close to that new OS. So, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get it. You're not gonna get it, right?
Yeah. I don't. I have to see it. I doubt it. I'm contemplating, but it's not what I currently know about the device is not compelling enough for me to be like,
Mhm.
ooh, that's a must get for me. But I mean, and you know what? That's the same thing that happened with, like, for me at least, with the OLED, the Switch OLED. I
Mm.
bought that as an impulse. I was like, oh, you know what?
Mm.
Like I've been wanting to play these games. I got it on an impulse because it was super cheap, right? In comparison to everything now. I
Right.
bought the 2 games, tried to both sell the games immediately. And then it just sits there because if I'm home, I'm not gonna play Nintendo games. Like they just look really bad, and they actually don't play very well. It's clunky, you know.
Well, get
And
the Switch
so
too. They play better now.
even then, it's like I did play it because I have a coworker that bought it,
Okay.
and it's like it's okay. Like there are currently no games that do 120 on it, as far as I know.
No, not yet.
All the
Well,
games are 60.
the Welcome
Um,
Tour.
yeah, the non-game is 120, sure, but and yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't play it enough. And even you know what's been crazy too. Even when I go away, like I went this weekend to PA, and the next 2 weeks I'm gonna be going away as well. Oh, by the way, I'm going away in the next 2 weeks, so I may not be joining the podcast. I forgot
Yeah, yeah.
to mention
Oh
that
wait.
in the beginning,
Is
but
that the dates
eh,
you gave me earlier? Before?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Keep going.
that's this week coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the um like even when I'm going, I take my iPad and I connect my Xbox controller and I go on Game Pass,
Mm.
which has way better games that I like personally than taking the Switch with me. You know, and then immediately, even even though it's streamed, it looks better than Nintendo games. You know, it's like, oh my god, this is like,
I mean, because
it's just it's not a great experience all around.
yeah, you're streaming high-end graphics, so it's
But
different.
even then, it still looks better than the Switch, is what I'm saying. Than the original Switch. I'm sure the new Switch obviously looks way better, but um, it's just there isn't anything in the Switch that's compelling enough. And I bought it because it was so cheap. I was like, okay, I think it was 350 the OLED.
Mm.
And I was like, I'll get it. And I didn't even sign up for the online thing because the online is really bad anyway. You have to like have an app to do a voice chat. Like it's just now they've upgraded.
See, all
Finally,
the
25
problems you're
years
talking
later.
about the Switch, it's being fixed on the Switch too. That's what you should have gotten.
Yeah, they're semi-fix, but you know, in their own Nintendo way. But anyway, like my
Yeah.
thing is that was an impulse buy. I bought it because it was like, okay, it was cheap and that's fine. The ROG Ally, it's not an impulse buy when it's like $800. You know, it has to have a purpose
Yeah.
in my house.
I hope I don't get uh, like you did with the Switch OLED. I hope I don't get an impulse to buy it. I'm
Yeah,
I'm trying to because I know deep, not deep inside. It's not deep inside that I know. I know it's out here that I know it's not for me. So if I were to
yeah,
buy this, I I'll be calling, yeah, call me stupid. I can I'm
yeah,
telling you right now. If I were close to you, smack me if I buy this because it's
yeah,
not for me right now. Now things may change
yeah.
between. I mean, you never know, right? Things change,
Yeah, of course.
and
Things
if I
might get
see,
updated, new features may
oh
be
no, it could be
released. You know, yeah,
where I hope knock on wood that doesn't happen. But let's say I move back to New York where I have to take the train and things like that. Then that makes sense for me to buy something like this because then
yeah.
I'll be able to play
I
it like
agree.
that. But
Yeah.
here it you drive everywhere. There's no way I can use it
Hmm.
at all. So it doesn't make sense for me
I know,
right
but
now.
you know what you should do since you're driving everywhere. Just get like autopilot on your car, and then you
Oh,
can play it. You
get a
know,
Tesla or
yeah,
something like that. Nah.
yeah. Just you can autopilot, and then you can play it all the time.
My job is 7 minutes away. I won't be able to
Yeah,
boot up a
yeah,
game within that time. So no.
yeah. No, but you're right. Like that's where it makes sense the most. So when you're commuting and when you're
Yeah.
actively moving around, you're not home all the time. That's why it. Well, I live in New York, but I don't take the subway. So to me, it also doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense to jump into that. Maybe if they release a Switch 2 emulator and and then the games run better there, yeah, maybe. But
Well,
that its current state, probably not.
well, whatever that will be, the date and prices should be announced soon. I'm gonna say by July. By the end of July, the latest. I think it should be. We should know what it's
Yeah.
gonna be. All right. With that, let's just go over the Game Pass games that are gonna be added within the next 2 weeks or so. And
Oh snap! I haven't seen
those,
this actually.
yeah. So, well, as you know
Well, I know
already,
Tony Hawk,
yeah. Well, that's in
right?
July.
Oh, is that in July?
Yeah.
Yeah, July. Sorry.
But you know already that Crash Bandicoot 4 was already added today,
Right.
along with
Yep.
FBC Firebreak. Did you see that one there?
Mm, Firebreak.
Yeah, that's from the
Oh,
Control
that's
people, from
yeah,
Remedy.
dude. We should play that.
You don't have to
Yeah,
tell
it's a
me. Just
co-op, right?
just tell me, hey, I'm on, jump on.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's I do want
yeah.
to try that one. And then we have Lost in Random. I don't have the dates here. I don't have the dates here, but
I think
yeah,
that one's out
Lost.
already.
Let me see. Do I have it?
I'm looking at it in the Xbox app right now, and it's already there.
Lost in Random.
Yeah,
Oh yes, I believe that's all. That's there today. Okay, let's see.
yeah. The Eternal
Yeah, here we
Die.
go.
That was the last one that was. So the games that you
Okay.
just mentioned, all of those they just added that, so they're there.
Yep.
And Alters, which I hear really
Oh
good things
yeah.
about it too. I
Yeah, I
haven't
hear good
started
things
it
about
yet,
it too.
but
I remember playing the demo and I kind of didn't like it. And I don't think I will like it because you need to get resources and then you need to clone. And I hear some, maybe one or two of the clones are a problem because either they think they're better than you or something like that. I don't know. I don't think it's for me. If you try it though, let me know. So yeah,
okay,
so
yeah,
then
I will.
coming soon we have Star Trucker on June 18, Wild Frost also June 18, Rematch June 19th, Volcano Princess June 24th, Against the Storm June 26th, Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 on June 26th.
Wow, Warcraft.
Oh, here we go.
Oh snap.
Here we go.
Okay, I've never played Warcraft,
But they're
so I
RTSs.
don't know.
That's why you're reacting to it.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Yeah, I know about
They,
Warcraft. I just
yeah,
never played it. No, they're not. They're. It's not an RTS. It's
they're not.
Isn't it like an MMO thing?
What you're talking about?
Um.
World of Warcraft? That's different. I thought these were RTSs.
Oh.
Okay, while you look for it, let me continue.
Hold on.
So, Call of Duty World War II, June 30th, Little Nightmares 2, July 1st, and Rise of the Tomb Raider, July 1st. And then we have some living soon. Arcade Paradise, Journey to the Savage Planet, My Friend Peppa Pig. Really? Robin Hood, Sherwood Builders, Still More Dig 1 and 2.
Those are the ones leaving.
Yeah, these are the one living soon. Yeah. Why you want to play Peppa Pig before it goes away?
Man.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to try the Call of Duty World War II. I believe that's the co-op one. I think you can play that one co-op.
Yeah. Can you? I don't.
I think
Was
that's
that?
the one. Or is it World War
Huh.
Three?
I don't remember. But yeah, you're right. No, you're right. It is an RTS. I was thinking
Okay.
of a different game. But but yeah, I would. That's those are the Call of Duty games that are staying there now, so we can try that anytime because it's Activision, right? So
Yep.
I
And
don't
then,
remember if I played that one. Was that the one of the 360?
I-
No.
yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be there. If it has co-op, I never played it, so I think co-op is for the campaign. So I'll give it a try.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's it. So before we go,
Nice.
anything else you want to add?
No. No, it's a good solid month for Game Pass again. It's like month after month after month, it's just
Yeah,
becoming more and more
it,
difficult to keep up with these games. So
I don't see it slowing
uh,
down
it's good.
for a
I
while
don't
at
either,
least.
yeah, especially with this library, right? Because Call of Duty, like they haven't even put half of Activision games
Not
there yet,
maybe
and so they
five.
still have a huge catalog.
Hmm
that they need to start adding them, and I'm sure they're gonna take their sweet time,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Adding it for those months that we don't have much going on, that we can drop one of
yeah,
these in kind of day. So
yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's a good problem to have.
Yep. I mean, it's
Oh,
and
one thing.
eh, yeah.
Sorry. One last thing. With everything that's going on, right? I heard, or I read somewhere that there was a rumor that Game Pass prices might be going up,
Oh boy.
and uh, and that kind of, I mean, it kind of makes sense. But if you're
I
looking
mean,
at paying $80 for games or doing Game Pass, it's still astronomically good value. Regardless, even if it goes up in price, it's still really good. So hopefully, it's not going to be crazy.
yeah.
Maybe if they do, which I'm sure inevitably they will, but it'll be maybe $1 or $2 at first, and then
That's what I
a
believe.
couple
I
of
don't think
years
it's gonna be.
later,
I don't think it will be more than $2.
yeah. So still good.
Yeah.
And my thing runs out in August. I have to like stack up again.
I don't have to worry about till
So
2027, so I'm good. All right then. So
anyway, yeah, that's it.
subscribe, like, give it a follow, comment. Let us know how we're doing. If you like it, if you don't, what would you like changed? If there's anything that you like changed. Um, yeah, but that's it for this week's episode, friends. Till next time, be good gamers.
Peace.
Peace.